CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Back here in Jacksonville, yeah, it's humid, 88% humidity. It's been raining the last couple of days. There's expectations for some thunderstorms a little later on. Frank Reich, in his first season as the head coach of Indianapolis, told a great story about being out of the game for 8 years before Bill Polian brought him back in as an assistant coach. And Doug Marrone, whose team had such high expectations, you all know the story. Last year, they went to the AFC Championship game, but his team is just trying to get a victory after losing 7 consecutive games.
It's been a nightmare for Doug Marrone. The expectations, if you would look at the power rankings, where the Jaguars fit in after week 4, they were in the top 3 of most everybody's list. Now, I mean, they're just trying to keep their heads above water and get themselves back into being taken seriously.
They just want to win a ball game, and they'll start right now with Green back deep to receive the kickoff. We're underway here in Jacksonville. So here's Cody Kessler, who at the end of our conversation on Friday, you asked him about being 0-8 and getting his first win. And it's weighing heavy on his mind to get his first victory for the Jags.
Well, you know it is. He's got the perfect record, perfectly 0 wins in his career. But now, listen, that was not, you got to consider the whole body of work. He was in Cleveland. Nobody won any games in Cleveland over the last couple of years, except there was 1 game. So it's misleading in a lot of ways.
TJ Yeldon starts in the backfield for the Jags, and Kessler will throw on first down. Yeldon is a primary receiver, not only for Kessler, but also for Bortles, and he makes the catch and gains 1 before Kenny Moore took him down. We will see a lot of Yeldon and Hyde today in the backfield, in there for Leonard Fournette, who's suspended. The left tackle position has been a huge topic of conversation for the Jags. Today it's Eric Flowers, the former Giant, who is starting at left tackle. On second down, off the play fake. Kessler to throw. He's under pressure, dumps the screen off, and Magnus Hunt tries to wrap up Yeldon, but Yeldon's got a first down. Darius Leonard and Anthony Walker make the tackle for the Colts after a gain of 11 yards.
A nice call by Scott Milanovic here, going with the screen pass. You get a nice, easy completion. Looks like some pressure's coming on Cody Kessler, but does a nice job of finding a way to get the ball to TJ Yeldon with some blockers out front. It's a completion, gets his confidence up, and moves the chains for this Jaguars offense.
Yeah, Scott Milanovic said that the meetings went well this week. He said, listen, I'm not going to change a whole lot, but Cody Kessler did say that he wants to get the ball downfield. They go to Yeldon again, and Yeldon, or excuse me, Hyde, gets up to the 42-yard line. The ball is loose. The Colts say they have it. I believe the officials blew it dead.
It looked to me like forward progress had stopped there.
Colts want the challenge flag to be thrown at Frank Reich.
Darius Leonard is animated. Yeah.
It sounded like the whistle had blown and Hyde was down, but the ball definitely came out.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely punched out. There's no doubt about that.
Nico Autry is the one who punched it out.
The ruling on the field, it was a fumble recovered by Indianapolis. First down.
And it was Anthony Walker who recovered it. So the officials now change it and say the ruling on the field was a fumble recovered by Indianapolis.
And there's no doubt. He was fighting forward still. The question was really only about when the whistle blew, but he was still driving forward. That ball was definitely punched out well before he hit the ground.
All right, so after conferring, the officials look like they get it right. They'll review it. Alex Kemp is the referee today. By the way, the Colts are one of 2 teams to force a turnover in every game this season. The other team, the Cleveland Browns. So Frank Reich chooses wisely. And it was his team, his defense, that convinced him to do it. So now the Colts will take over at the 42.
Number 73 has reported eligible. 73 is an eligible receiver.
Joe Haig is reported as an eligible receiver.
Frank Reich go after the jugular, go down the field with the big play opportunity here coming out the gates.
That was Hewitt in motion, the tight ends. And the handoff goes to Mack. So no gain on the play. Marcel Darius, Calais Campbell make the tackle. All right, Andrew Luck, we met with him so much before yesterday, but I thought yesterday was as optimistic as I have heard him in years.
The degree with which he spoke freely about how important that year was and how it really changed his overall mentality from a physical standpoint, from a mental standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint. He's just in such a good place right now, and I think Frank Reich has been just an absolute godsend for him.
That's Haskell in motion. He'll take the handoff to the near side. Miles Jack Telvin Smith in on the tackle after a gain of 2. This Colts offensive line is without Ryan Kelly, and Doug Marrone did say that they would go after Evan Boehm, who's starting at the center position for Ryan Kelly. But it's a really good offensive line.
I have so much fun watching this Colts offensive line play. You're going to see Quentin Nelson, the left guard rookie, first-round draft choice out of Notre Dame, and Mark Lewinsky, the right guard. These guys play with high intensity all the way until the whistle blows. They're running downfield, looking for people to pick off all the time.
They're down at 8. Luck under pressure, throws on the run, and it's intercepted. DJ Hayden picks it off, and he's knocked out of bounds by Glowinski. So the Colts get it and then give it right back to the Jaguars.
Really bad decision by Andrew Luck there. Disappointing for him to start it out that way with the great field position. We'll see if the defense can hold up when we come back.
One of the storylines for the Jaguars, as we pointed out, is that they haven't forced as many turnovers as they did last year. Last year they had 7 interceptions for touchdowns. They forced the turnover by Luck to get the ball back.
Hey,
First down from the 28.
Yep,
Kessler changing the play.
Green 80. Good shot.
And a quick drop. And the pass is deflected and incomplete. It hit 3 different hands. Anthony Walker was the last one. It was intended for Dante Moncrief.
Well, this very easily could have been intercepted. Ball led a little bit too much off the hands. Those tip balls coming across the middle are very scary. 3 different Colt players could have had the opportunity to catch that ball. Last one, Walker, should have found a way to pull it in, but you just get so excited when that ball's sitting right in front of you like that. It's hard to relax and look it in.
So second down at 10. And a handoff to the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 2. It'll be third down and 8. All right, let's take a look at that interception by Andrew Luck.
Well, if there's a knock on Luck, it's that once in a while he tries to force the ball. Oh, sorry about that. The route is going to be just Ebron trying to get up to the corner, but you're going to see in the flat as Andrew Luck starts to roll to the right, you're going to see underneath right here, you got Inman, who was wide open for an easy completion. Could have taken it for the first down, in my opinion. Andrew Luck's got to be smarter in that situation.
Or even deeper into field goal range. Even if they didn't get the first down.
No reason to force it.
On third down, Kessler will run. And Kessler's going to be shy of the first down by a yard. Petty Moore came up to make the tackle. And here comes the punt team for the Jags.
Neither team able to capitalize on the turnovers. 3 and outs both ways.
Logan Cook on to punt the ball. The rookie out of Mississippi State, Chester Rogers, back deep to receive. I think you and I were both impressed with Cook during practice the other day. And Rogers called for the fair catch, and that's going to be a flag. C.J. Revis came out and said it was his bad immediately, which it was.
Well, there's very little doubt whose bad that was. That
what a
was
shame. That's a 55-yard punt. They would have been inside the 10-yard line.
10 inside the 10 and an obvious fair catch.
Fair catch interference. Kicking team number 38. 15-yard penalty. Indianapolis's ball, first down. Timeout.
So Indianapolis getting a better field position after Rogers called for the fair catch. The Jags didn't see it. Andrew Luck says, hey, what's going on?
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the new Wendy's Bacon Maple Chicken Sandwich. Garmin. Get a Garmin smartwatch and beat yesterday. And by Verizon. The best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network.
On a hot day like this, it's kind of smart to be in a pool. It's first down, and Luck will throw with an empty backfield. He's hit as he throws. Ngakoue got his hand on it, but the Colts fall on top of it. Andrew Luck does. Boy, Ngakoue is such a special athlete, and he's been moving around this defensive line.
Very fortunate to get back on this ball. You see Ngakoue right here. This comes speed around the edge, and there's Costanzo just does a really poor job of running him by Luck.
Defense number 38, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Oh, wow.
Very fortunate.
C.J. Rivas, who just had the penalty on the fair catch, gets called for a holding penalty.
Please reset the clock to 10:27, please.
Those are two really, really bad penalties on Rivas.
And think about last week's game against Buffalo.
Thank you.
How many penalties there were.
That was actually on 39. That's Deshaun Gibson out there in the field.
Number 73 is an eligible receiver.
Rivas is on the field. Right here is the play. Not sure what says Deshaun Gibson.
Oh, yeah, you had Ebron. That's a good call, Steve. So they said 38, but it was 39.
Yeah, Rivas is on the sidelines and enjoying a little sip of water.
So first down from the 28-yard line. Hewitt's in as the tight ends. Off the play fake, Luck looking to throw. Plenty of time. Throws left. Pass is incomplete, but he'll forget it. He's got it close to the 45-yard line. They're going to say that was a reception.
Wow.
Gain of 17.
That didn't look like a reception. We'll try and get a closer look at it. You're going to see a lot of that matchup today. T.Y. Hilton against Jalen Ramsey. There was some question. That ball's not that's not a catch.
Well, the challenge flag has been thrown by Doug Marrone.
That didn't look like a catch from up here, and there's no way that's going to hold up.
Jacksonville is challenging the ruling on the field of a complete pass.
All right, so they'll take a peek at that. It's our second challenge of the first quarter. We'll be back right after this. Well, it was a pretty quick review, and they've decided that T.Y. Hilton did not have control of this throw.
Yeah, clearly, the ball hits the ground. He never had control of it.
So it moves back to the 28-yard line. Marlon Mack in the backfield. 10:02 to play in the first quarter. It's been somewhat of a choppy first 5 minutes. And Luck hands it off to Mack, who slips through up to the 35-yard line. Ngakoue makes the tackle. Well, this Jaguars defense, which is led in the secondary by Jalen Ramsey, we weren't sure if Ramsey would play today. He hadn't practiced much this week. He's been bothered by a knee injury, but he is active. But they are starting Ronnie Harrison instead of Barry Church at the safety position.
Yeah, they felt that they had to get the rookie third-round draft choice out of Alabama, Ronnie Harrison, on the field. He makes a lot of things happen, and that was no knock on Barry Church, but Barry Church getting up in years, and Harrison, they just had to find a way to get him on the field.
Third down and 3. Himes in the game in the backfield. Luck to throw. Has Himes. And Telvin Smith in on the coverage, but Himes looks like he's got enough for a first down.
It looks like he barely got that. Hey, let's go back real quick to that challenge, though. And a lot of people may not even be aware, but that actually hurts the Jaguars. But when they had to burn a challenge, even though they got it right, you're only allowed 2 challenges unless you get both of them right.
Correct.
Receiver. 73 is eligible.
Then you get the extra challenge. But if you have to burn them on a play like that, even if you got it right, it still is one of your 3 maximum challenges in a game.
Off the play fake. Luck looking to throw. Underneath, he throws to Mack, who's out of bounds at the 45, a gain of 6. DJ Hayden makes the tackle. All right, Steve, so from an Andrew Luck standpoint, it's not all short passes and getting rid of it quickly. It's just making better decisions, and he's getting more of the playbook as the year goes on.
He is, and they're getting better and better. He and Frank Reich are getting more and more on the same page. Frank Reich, as the play caller and coordinator of this offense, as well as the head coach, he feels very strongly that he is getting to know Andrew Luck better and better, and being able to really call the plays that make the most sense to him. And that's definitely correlated to his success.
On second down and 4, the inside handoff to Mack. And Mack is nailed by Telvin Smith. Close to the 47. Ronnie Harrison there too.
This Jacksonville Jaguars defense has long been known as the Colts are getting to the line to hurry up and try and catch the Jaguars off guard.
A little pitch to Mack. And he's short of the first down. Telvin Smith came to clean it up, but it was Malik Jackson who made the initial hit. What are your thoughts here? If it's
I think
down?
Frank Reich's going to go for this. It's 4th and well less than a yard, but sometimes you kind of outsmart yourself on that. You try to get to the line quick and try to catch the defense off guard, but there, the Colts obviously were beaten to the punch.
So they're going to go for it on 4th down, less than a yard. Keep the quarterback voice in mind, even though it's getting louder here. The voice of Andrew Luck.
Well, they're not going to run a play.
We talked to Calais Campbell about this. He said you really got to be patient with Andrew Luck.
I think what this was, they let the clock run out. This was a sign of respect from Frank Reich to this Jacksonville Jaguars defense. They are very physical. The numbers can be misleading. This is definitely one of the best defenses in the NFL, especially up front. And Jacksonville did not, or the Colts did take a timeout before they took the penalty there.
And you know, as a quarterback, how important the quarterback voice is. We asked Calais Campbell about that, and Campbell has a really deep, raspy voice too. But he understood that Andrew Luck has that voice where he changes the cadence up and down. So a young guy sometimes will jump.
Yeah, it's called the hard count, and it's kind of a lost art these days in the age of shotgun and all that other kind of stuff. But Andrew Luck is a guy that does still implement it. It's an advantage to the offense, but very good discipline there by the Jaguars defense.
D.D. Westbrook is back deep to receive for the Jags. Here's Sanchez, the second-year pro out of Hawaii. And a fair catch called by Westbrook. 6:57 to play here in the first quarter. Cody Kessler going back to work, looking for that helmet.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Taco Bell's Rolled Chicken Tacos and by Walt Disney World Resort.
Jacksonville Historical Society hosting their largest holiday event, the 16th annual Gingerbread Extravaganza. Now on display until the end of December. All right, Cody Kessler has not had a lot of action. He is back out there from the 14 on first down.
50, 380.
Here comes the pressure. He didn't see it. I mean, he was just smothered by Matthew Adams.
They're going to call unnecessary roughness.
Right to the head.
This is the new NFL. A great play, but Cody Kessler ducks his head and gets hit in the head, and it's a penalty on the Colts.
I mean, Matthew Adams was unblocked.
Unblocked. It was a complete breakdown by the
personal foul, lowering the head to initiate contact. Defense, number 49. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down for Jacksonville.
Yeah, good eyes on that too, Steve. I mean, lowering the head, initiating contact.
Yeah, this is the new NFL. I mean, it's hard to not hit head to head, and he's going to tackle him, and the head just kind of naturally follows. It was nothing malicious about the intent, but they're going to call that every time.
Same formation offensively on first down. The handoff goes to Hyde. And this Colts defense, which has been so good this year, they knock it back for a couple of yards. Marcus Hunt, he had such a big week last week against the Dolphins. So good offense, balanced offense, but man, this defense, what did Frank Reich tell us yesterday? 4 games ago, he sensed something special was starting to happen.
Yes, and he's challenging them every week, saying, oh, like this week he said, this Jaguars defense, everybody talks about them. Let's leave the field knowing that we're the best defense on the field on Sunday.
Second down at 10. Here comes the pressure again. Kessler doesn't see it, gets it off to Yeldon, and another drop pass for the Jags. That's been a storyline all season long. Kenny Moore was coming from the backside.
Yeah, Cody Kessler's going to have to make sure he's got the protection turning the right way. He's got some people running free at him, and I think that's his responsibility to get that protection. So you see the graphic there, Jacksonville by far the most dropped passes this season of anybody. That's another one added to that list.
Yeah, they had 6 last week against the Bills. On third down, they pick up the pressure this time. They dump it off to O'Shaughnessy, and he is met immediately by Darius Leonard, who slows him and gets him a short gain of close to 5, but it'll be 4th down.
That was a nice job by Yeldon coming over and picking up the blitz off the slot. Jacksonville picked it up. Kessler had time to make the throw, but that's exactly the throw that the Colts wanted him to make. They were giving him the short throw to the flat, come up and make a nice open field tackle, and now Jacksonville has another 3 and out.
Logan Cook to punt. Chester Rogers back deep to receive. This is not the best of punts. It's going to go out of bounds. It's going to go toward the sidelines, out of bounds on a bounce. So decent field position for the Colts. We pause now to remember George H.W. Bush, the 41st president of the United States, an avid sportsman. He played first base at Yale, earned induction to the World Golf Hall of Fame, and threw out his share of first pitches and coin tosses. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell called him a genuine fan who understood the power of sports to bring people together. We, of course, send our condolences to his family. One of my favorite quotes from the elder George Bush: "I do not mistrust the future. I do not fear what is ahead, for our problems are large, but our heart is even larger." What a good man.
Cannot be questioned.
Luck to throw on first down. Middle of the field, he's got Inman, and Inman, did he hang on? He may have with the help of his legs.
Yeah, they're saying it hit the ground. Boy, that was almost a great circus catch. Couldn't tell clearly whether it hit the ground from up here, but on the field, no hesitation. Let's see here. Nice ball from Andrew Luck.
I don't know, Steve. Oh, yeah, there it is, right there.
Yep. Good call.
Boy, that was awfully close.
It was. And what you're going to see, though, this is the Jaguars team that last year had 55 sacks. This year, coming into the game, only 21. They've not been able to generate the pressure. We'll see if they can do it today against Andrew Luck. But this offensive line for the Colts has only given up 11 sacks on the year coming into this game. That's a big difference for Andrew Luck. He's not getting hit nearly as much.
Yeah, that's the least amount in the National Football League. Mack to run, and he bumps outside and picks up some more yards. Let's go to New York with JB and Boomer with an update.
Houston looking for its 9th straight.
Deshaun Watson is off to a great start today. 11 yards to Jordan Thomas. Look at this touch, Steve. He's 8 of 8, 104 yards. That's 17 straight games with a TD pass for the young signal call for the Texans. They lead 10-0 over the Browns.
I'd say that's being in a groove back to Tom McCarthy and Steve Berline.
Hey, guys, keep those Deshaun Watson highlights coming. He's my fantasy quarterback, so I like that.
On third down, Luck taps his foot one time. That's Ebron in motion. Luck steps up, fires to the outside, incomplete, intended for Ebron, who felt like he was interfered with.
Are they going to get a flag if they keep taunting? There it goes. The taunting, they might call it both ways. I don't know, but Tashawn Gibson was jawing at Eric Ebron. That is a really, really bad lack of discipline, whoever that's called on.
Plus the helmet came off too.
Yeah, it's just, it makes those kind of penalties drive coaches crazy. Doug Marrone sitting there shaking his head.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Jacksonville, number 36. That's his first foul of this nature toward disqualification. Penalty is 15 yards, automatic first down for Indianapolis.
That's my bad. We were calling Tashawn Gibson about that. That was actually the rookie, Ronnie Harrison from Alabama.
Yeah, Gibson was in on the coverage.
I thought it was Gibson that they got Harrison for coming in late. And that's just a very, very dumb rookie mistake. You cannot justify that, but it's a learning lesson for the kid's excited about his first start. You just cannot do that.
Meanwhile, on the Jacksonville bench, Steve, Cody Kessler was evaluated for a concussion. You saw him shake his head after that one hit, and he has been cleared to return. On first down, Luck middle of the field, Ebron. And Ebron lowers his shoulder, and looks like he's got a first down. Telvin Smith in on the coverage.
This guy, Eric Ebron, has had a breakout year. A lot of years, 5 years in Detroit, I believe, with Matthew Stafford. Never had nearly the success that he's had this year. Everybody always knew he was a great athlete, very impressive in the things that he could do, but never put up the numbers. This year, 11 touchdowns, tied for the most ever in the history of the Indianapolis Colts for a tight end with Dallas Clark.
And that's a pretty special guy to be tied with.
Still 5 games left.
Still 5 games left. He's out. Ryan Hewitt's in. Eric Swope's in as well at tight ends. Luck throws. He's hit from the backside. Incomplete. It was Deshaun Gibson who hit him.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I think in this 7-game slide, this Jacksonville Jaguars defense has been really overlooked. They are still, even though the numbers are down in general, it's because a lot of times they're playing from behind now as opposed to playing with the lead. But they have good cover guys. You see Jalen Ramsey out there on T.Y. Hilton. They can find ways to generate pressure. You're going to have to get physical if you want to match up with these guys.
Yeah, Doug Marrone talked about that on Friday. He said, listen, I know we've lost 7 straight, but look at some of the games and how close they've been. And that's partly because of the defense. Marlon Mack gets down inside the 30. Telvin Smith, the tackling machine, makes another tackle after a gain of 4.
Well, that's one of the first things Andrew Luck told us about this Jacksonville game today. He said, man, I don't care what anybody says. You can say they've lost 7 straight. This is the top 10 defense in every category, and they play incredibly physical and aggressive across the board.
All right, so 3rd down. What would you like Luck to do in this spot?
Well, the one thing, you're in field goal range right now. You got a great kicker in Adam Vinatieri, so you do not want to try to force the football. You got to try to find the right matchup. You got one-on-one down in the bottom down here. I think that's Eric Ebron.
And Hines was in motion out of the backfield. Pass is complete to T.Y. Hilton. He just sat down right at the 1st down marker.
Well, that was a good completion for the 1st down. He did have a really good shot at Eric Ebron on the backside down the random slant route against A.J. Boye. And would have given Andrew Luck a place to go if he went backside. But a lot of times the quarterback is told if a cornerback lines up on a tight end, that's not the matchup you want. If it's a safety or a linebacker, you take that throw. So that's the mental game that a quarterback goes through.
And of course, T.Y. Hilton has been one of the favorite receivers for Andrew Luck. The other one, Jack Doyle, who's out for the rest of the year after having a kidney procedure. Luck to throw left side. Pass is complete to Grant as a flag comes in from the outside. Grant was covered by Jalen Ramsey. And we will see who the penalty is against.
It's on the line of scrimmage.
Illegal shift. Offense, number 21 never got set. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
Yeah, that was Hines, the rookie, out of the backfield.
Yeah, he's going to come out in motion, and he either has to stay in motion going all the way to the sideline. He's going to come out here to the side. But if he tries to get set and settle down, you know, I don't know how you call that, to be honest with you, because he wasn't going toward the line of scrimmage. He never stopped his movement. That, to me, is not the right call.
It was just weird because he was so far out, too. Here's Ebron in the middle. So he got some of the yards back inside the 20.
As long as he's not attempting to get set, there's no reason that he's still in motion. There's no reason to throw that flag, in my opinion.
All right, well, this has become a methodical drive for Indianapolis. Their red zone numbers have been good. In fact, they're 5th. 25 red zone passing touchdowns for Luck coming in. That's tied with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, 69% of the time they come away with touchdowns. That's a good number.
Off the play fake to Hines. Luck will roll. And this is where he says that he's become smarter. You know, he rolled and was running, but was behind the line of scrimmage and just dumped it off. He didn't take the hit. Yeah, and that's one of the huge things that Frank Reich has tried to pound into Andrew Luck's head. And Andrew knows now the value that he has this team is by being on the field. It doesn't help the team if he takes the unnecessary hits and is not playing. You can see 2018, he's getting hit half as much as he had in his previous years to his career. That's a huge mentality change for Andrew Luck. You're not going to see him taking on hits unless it's absolutely necessary. A third down opportunity. They're the best in the National Football League in these spots. And T.Y. Hilton with a curl away from Miles Jack. Looks like he has the first down.
That's a great matchup. T.Y. Hilton on Miles Jack, who's a great cover linebacker, very talented linebacker, but asking him to cover a wide receiver of T.Y. Hilton's caliber, and T.Y. Hilton shows why he's a special player, knowing exactly where that marker is and having the ability to get it done.
Now, when he said yesterday that what he's learned in all these years is patience.
73.
Did you understand what he meant on that?
Yes, yes. And you can't get frustrated with when things are going tough. You can't try to make things happen. He had such a great disposition about it.
First down from the 12. Here's Mack. And Calais Campbell gets him behind the line of scrimmage as a flag comes in. The flag was toward Andrew Luck.
Holding, offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
It's Joe Haig, who was in as an extra lineman. We were told he would play more today as sort of a tight end H-back because they were without Jack Doyle, who they missed so much.
Yeah, he's right here on the end. He's playing the tight end position.
This is the end of the first quarter. Timeout.
Calais Campbell didn't care that he was holding him.
That's the end of the first quarter. No score. We'll return to Jacksonville for this message. Well, at the end of one, it's a little different story than when the last time these two teams faced each other. There was a lot of offense in the first half. Not so much in this first half. But we begin the second quarter after the 10-yard holding penalty. Andrew Luck goes back to work on first down.
First and 20, yes.
First and 20. The ball's first down markers inside the 3. With 4 on the play clock. Luck looking at all his different options, and there was good coverage. T.Y. Hilton was covered on the outside by Jalen Ramsey.
That was a shot at a big play. Frank Reich and Andrew Luck were trying. They were trying to fake the screen pass out here to Hines, who's going to just step up and then step back, and they were trying to get the ball down the field. You see the screen, and they were trying to get the ball to the field to one of these 3, but good coverage by Jacksonville downfield.
Yeah, that was Wilson, one of the backup free safeties. On second down, Luck from the gun. Steps up in the pocket, pumps. Here comes the pressure, and he'll run it. He doesn't like to do this all the time, but he's gotten better at sliding, although that wasn't the best of slides.
That was a slide that hurt my hip. Oh. The way that knee drove into the ground there. Boy, that's a nice divot. A good job by Luck understanding the situation, not trying to force it, and then not taking the unnecessary hit.
It has rained a lot here in Jacksonville the last couple of days. They did have the field tarped yesterday. Is that how your eagle looked yesterday?
I tried to get out and play a little golf. I had a few chunky divots like that, yes.
Jordan Wilkins in. That's Hines. And Hines gets past the original line of scrimmage, and Ngakoue was chasing him down. And here comes Adam Vinatieri. So a field goal attempt for the Colts from the 45-year-olds.
Boy, he's got a little more salt and pepper in that mustache in there.
I didn't
realize, yeah.
Yeah, from this year to, let's say, last year when we met with him, he definitely has let it go a little bit.
Yeah, I've not seen that facial hair on him before. It definitely shows his experience.
29-yard field goal attempt. Sanchez the holder. And Vinatieri connects. There is a flag down. And Jacksonville, for the moment, has given up a 3-0 lead to the Colts.
Personal foul, defense, number 90 for roughing the snapper. Half the distance to the goal line, automatic first down, Indianapolis.
That is amazing. These penalties that the Jags have had the last couple weeks, even today, it hasn't hurt them until now. But Brian, the rookie,
another rookie,
you can't touch the center.
So right here, he wasn't lined up over the center, which is part of the rule, but you just cannot.
Oh man,
it's a different game today.
It's a different game.
It really is, and by rule, that is a penalty. You can't go slamming into the snapper.
Well, 17 personal foul penalties for the Jags, the most in the NFL. Indianapolis going with a 2 tight end set. That's Ebron in motion. Luck is able to avoid Ngakoue, and he's just throwing it away. So it'll be 2nd down and goal. So this is a 14-play drive, which is included.
I don't know what Ngakoue was thinking on that last play.
He just stopped, right?
He just stopped. Yeah, it was like he was playing 2-hand touch.
Number 73 is eligible. 73 is an eligible receiver.
Second really bad penalty by a rookie on this drive.
Marlon Mack is an extra blocker in the backfield. Left to throw back in the end zone for Ebron. There were 3 different defenders who were in the area of Ebron, and why not?
Well, you know, you look at the film of this Indianapolis team. They're really creative offensively, and they, generally speaking, find ways to get guys open. But that play right there was affected by Jalen Ramsey underneath. Andrew Luck was afraid to put it right on Ebron because he thought that Jalen Ramsey could fall back and make that play. I'm impressed with the discipline in coverage for this Jaguars team. Obviously not disciplined with their penalties.
16th play of the drive. 3 receivers at the bottom. Luck looking to the right, now to the left for Hines, and Hines has it at the 2. But he'll be stopped short of the goal line. A.J. Boye in on the coverage. All right, so they took the points before. What do they do here, you think, on 4th down?
You know, it's 4th down. It's at the 2. Is it at the 2-yard line?
It's just inside the 2.
I'm not. I would kick the field goal here. Just get yourself out in front with the lead against the Jaguars team that's not a juggernaut offensively. I think you need to come away with points on this drive.
Well, this will be the 17th play of the drive. Mostly pass plays. Wilkins in the backfield. Hilton in motion. And a quick snap and a shovel pass. And that's going to be short of the goal line. What a play by Ngakoue, who got a piece of Wilkins on that shovel pass. And this Jaguars defense is able to make the stands. We remain scoreless here in the first half. It's been 22 minutes in actual time since Cody Kessler has been on the field. He's also been evaluated for a concussion during that time. I mean, look at the control that the Colts have had, but they have no points. High formation, that's Hyde. And Hyde may have gotten a hit, or may have gotten a yard. Let's take a look at the hit that Kessler took and the reason why they put him in the concussion protocol.
Yeah, they called a penalty. There was a definite head-to-head contact on the play. And Kessler, you can see a little bit shaky getting up off the ground there with his head down. He's kind of a little bit woozy. They checked him out on the sideline. That was the last time he was on the field, was that series. So tough to come in. He has not gotten into the flow of this game at all. Only 5 passes. They've only had the ball for 10 plays now. Not the way that he ideally envisioned starting out this game.
He did tell his teammates, and he told us this. He said, listen, I'm ready to rip it when I get in. On 2nd down and 9. He has Yeldon out of the backfield, and he is shuttled out of bounds by Desir.
Well, this is where he needs to step up and make a play now. This team needs a spark. Doug Marrone told us very clearly, Nathaniel Hackett, who he has a lot of respect for, it was a very difficult decision for Doug Marrone to make, was fired. Scott Milanovic hired to be promoted to play caller. Cody Kessler promoted to starting quarterback. The sole intention of those moves was to create some plays up the field in the passing game. They just have been non-existent to this point and still today.
Yeah, and Yeldon's been the main target out of the backfield receiving-wise. He has 3 receptions. Kessler's in trouble, and he is going down. Margus Hunt was there. So was Danico Autry. And this game has been all about defense on both ends of the field.
Yeah, both defenses playing very well. This is the 3rd 3-and-out for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Good pressure. They've been a very good pressure team this year. That would be, you know, they've been much better than what they've been the last several years as far as pressuring the passer, with 21 sacks and now 22 sacks on the year.
Chester Rogers back deep to receive. Great shot of Logan Cook, and that is not a good punt. Wow, we were talking about how good he looked at practice the other day, and he's had a good year. That was not a good punt. Excellent field position for Andrew Luck and the Colts when we return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Pizza Hut, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you. And by Lowe's.
Have to say, that is dedication on a hot, humid day like it is right now in Jacksonville. Humidity about 88%. That paint's going to peel a little bit, I would think. Here come the Colts. The Colts have dominated time of possession and plays, but no points. Luck to throw on first down. Underneath, pass is complete to Inman. At a gain of 8 yards. A.J. Boye in on the coverage. Tonight on CBS, country sensation Garth Brooks will rock the house that Burline built. It's the first live concert ever held at legendary Notre Dame Stadium. Don't miss Garth live at Notre Dame tonight after 60 minutes, only CBS. It said the house that Rockne built, but I wasn't going for that.
Well, it's just one of many houses that I've built, so to speak. This is another one. I was the first quarterback for the Jaguars. It lasted a full 2.5 quarters.
Say what, about 40 minutes of game action?
A little more than 40, but not much.
Second down. Luck off the play fake. Inman again the target. Broken up. It was Jared Wilson who was in on the coverage. Actually, it was DJ Hayden in on the coverage.
Yeah, I tell you, this Jaguars defense is not giving an inch. I mean, they are not showing any fear of this Indianapolis Colt offense whatsoever. Another good pressure. I mean, good, clean pressure. Back in the day, Darius would have driven him into the ground.
He would have.
But they're learning now you just can't do that anymore.
So third down at 2. And they give it to Hines.
I think they're short.
Yeah, he might be a half yard short, but Frank Reich has shown, even in this ball game, a propensity to go for it on fourth down.
Yeah, I think here you're looking at maybe 1.5 foot at most for the first down. They just got to get to the 30-yard line. I like the call here.
All right, but you don't think quarterbacks sneak at all here because of not getting Luck hit?
Well, and also the interior defensive line for the Jacksonville Jaguars with Darius and Calais Campbell and those guys. Those are some big, tough dudes up the middle.
Mack in the backfield. Ebron in motion. He'll take the handoff, and he is knocked out, and the ball comes loose. What a hit! Miles Jack and Telvin Smith combine on forcing the turnover and recovering it.
Well, what can you say about this Jaguars defense just continuing to step up with absolutely no support from their offense? They bring Ebron in motion. You know, again, I think that's a sign of respect that Frank Reich has for this Jaguars defense. If you're giving the ball to a tight end to run outside on fourth down and 1 foot, you would like to think these Colts will try to go right at him between the tackles and try and get that first down.
Well, it worked for a touchdown last week for Ebron. Not that time, though, on first down. TJ Yeldon, and Yeldon moves the pile up to the 44. And a reminder, as everybody knows, here in Jacksonville, the Jags are playing without Leonard Fournette, and Fournette will continue to be a story even after this game because he was one of the captains voted on by his teammates. And Doug Marrone told us on Friday, he said, listen, he has to realize that's not how captains act, and it'll be up to his teammates as to whether he'll continue to be a captain.
Yeah, left the bench to come into a fight, and that's an automatic suspension. Not a good decision, obviously, and he's now paying the price.
TJ Yeldon again on 2nd and 6. And what does the Jaguars miss without Fournette? Well, look what he did the last 2 games. I mean, and last week he missed the whole fourth quarter.
He is, without a doubt, one of the top 3 young running backs in the league. He's missed a lot of games already. He's missed 7 games this year for this team now, counting this game. And that is absolutely unacceptable. The injury, you can't help that. You got to get him healthy. But when you make a decision like that, you hurt your whole football team, and there's no justification.
O'Shaughnessy in motion. They're down in 3. Kessler lofts it to the near side for Cole, and he can't hang on, and a flag comes in. Desir was in on the coverage.
You know,
Did he hold him on the lead?
Unless they call holding, I didn't see any
Pass
contact
interference.
down the field.
Defense, number 35. Ball is placed at the spot of foul. Automatic first down for Jacksonville.
The only thing is, Pierre Desir did not say anything.
Well, I mean, what's the penalty? He's going. You know what it was? He didn't turn back to
You're
play
right.
the ball. That was in the
That's right.
NFL. You have to make an effort to turn back and play the ball. That was more face guarding, which would be considered pass interference.
So they move it to the spot of the penalty.
53. Hey, alert 26. Alert 26. Green 80. Here's that.
Kessler with a little pump. Now lofting it near sideline for Westbrook. It's tipped and out of bounds. Kenny Moore was in on the coverage. There was not a lot of space along the sidelines.
Now, I'm not impressed at all with the route that D.D. Westbrook run. He's a good young receiver in D.D. Westbrook, but this is one of the things. Why it's a little double move. He just kind of makes up his mind that, you know, I didn't get him. I'm not getting it. It wasn't the kind of effort that you want to see out of your wide receiver on the outside, trying to stretch that field a little bit and then let the ball stop you and make the back shoulder throw.
Quick injury update there. Sky Moore, one of the backup middle linebackers, out with a knee injury, questionable to return. Hyde through the middle, down to the 35, a gain of 3. You know, it's interesting, Steve. Scott Milanovic, the first 15 plays, Cody Kessler said, we're going to be scripted, which is kind of normal. But after that, you know, he's going to assess what's going to happen and then go from there. Do you think he'll open it up at all?
Well, I don't know if we're through the first 15 plays yet.
That's
we're almost at halftime. We're close. We're right around that number. But they do need to open it up and try to start making some plays. They got a little flinch now. They're going to now have a 3rd and 12.
Ball start. Offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Yeah, A.J. Cann, part of this offensive line. They've gone through 6 different starting lineups with this offensive line. 4 different left tackles. And that's now 46 yards of penalties for the Jags. They only have 37 yards.
And not this good time for penalties, but the timing of these penalties has been very, very poor.
So now 3rd down, middle of the field, Dante Moncrief. And Moncrief has a first down and more inside the 25. Kenny Moore made the tackle. Moncrief was just kind of feeling his way through for 18 yards.
Well, that's what a receiver's supposed to do. You're coming across the field. It's not man-to-man coverage. You try to choke it down and settle it in the soft spot of the zone. Kessler read it properly, got him a nice catchable ball, and the rest of his history. Moncrief did a great job of catching that ball, getting up the field for the first down.
First reception today for a wide receiver for the Jags, with under 6 minutes to play in the first half.
Green 80. Get set.
Hyde slips a tackler and gets inside the 15. It's a gain of nearly 9 yards.
Sometimes it just takes one play, like that last play to Moncrief, a big 3rd down conversion to pump some life into your team. All of a sudden, guys say, okay, we needed that. Now we're in the red zone. We got a chance to get going here. You start puffing that chest out a little bit, and it makes a big difference. It's a mental thing as much as anything else.
And for Kessler, we talked to him about, you know, where he's gotten better. And he said the game is slowing down for me after going 0-8 with Cleveland. And I guess that's the natural ascension for any kind of player. Hyde trying to get to the edge. Hyde gets to the edge and out of bounds inside the 10. A late flag comes in after Hyde was pushed out by Desir.
That to me looks like it might be a holding call. And boy, that'd be a terrible penalty for the Jaguars in this situation. You come off of 3 really good plays in a row.
It was Steve Freeman, the back judge, who threw the flag.
This Jaguars team very average in the red zone, 24th in the league, only scoring touchdowns 52% of the time. It's because of things like this. They're moving it back.
Offense, number 69, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
I mean, just think about that 1st and goal from the 1 last week against Buffalo.
That's right.
After the Fournette fight. The center called for the penalty.
Yeah, Tyler Shatley right here. Let's see what he did. He's trying to get up to the next level. Oh my goodness.
Was it Walker that he held? Is that what their thought is?
I couldn't tell you.
On second down, Kessler. Kessler, pressure coming, so he runs. Gets to the 15. He's about 3 yards shy of a first down.
All he did was reach out to Walker. I don't even know if he got a piece of it.
It definitely looked like that was all it was.
I mean, they were double teaming the nose tackle, and he was trying to get up to the linebacker. Maybe they felt that he was restricting the nose tackle a little too much. I don't know.
All right, so 3rd and 3. You got Yeldon in the backfield, so that's his safety valve from a passing standpoint, right?
Right.
Keelan Cole is stretched to the outside as a receiver. And there is Yeldon. And Yeldon with the second effort, he may have gotten it.
He's right on it.
It all depends on the spot. Autry was the first one to hit him.
And that was a big hit by Autry. That was great second effort by Yeldon. They're giving it to him.
Yeah, it's first down.
You see the contact definitely short of the first down marker by a couple of yards. Able to spin off of Autry and made a heck of a play.
Yeah, Geathers was there too. Blake Bell is the H-back in the backfields. O'Shaughnessy is on the left side of the offensive line. And a flag comes in as the play clock was winding down.
Delay of game.
Oh.
Excuse me. Before the delay of game, timeout was called by Jacksonville. That's their first.
3:30 to play here in the first half. The first timeout used by Doug Marrone.
30-second timeout.
So Scott Milinovich will chat with Kessler before sending the play back in. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime.
Well, you know, Tom, in this situation here, most teams you could identify who a go-to guy is in the red zone. This Jaguars team has been one of my big arguments the last several years. There just haven't been a whole lot of really established weapons that Blake Bortles has had a chance to go to, guys that he could really count on to make plays in key situations. And here, I wouldn't even know who to tell you is the key guy for the Jaguars.
Well, the pitch goes to Hyde, and Hyde is hit behind the line of scrimmage. Darius Leonard was there. I think Geathers came up as well. I think you're right, though.
Well, you got.
Steve, I mean, if Fournette's in, you kind of point to Fournette in a lot of ways.
Right, but I'm talking about in a passing game.
Yes, you're
so
right.
You know, if Fournette's back there, he's going to draw a lot of attention in the running game, and that's going to create matchups. But who do you go to anyway? Your top two receiving touchdown leaders are your running back, T.J. Yeldon, and D.D. Westbrook, both with 4. There's just nobody established as a red zone threat on this team.
Well, Yeldon is in the backfield. We'll keep an eye on him. Kessler pumps toward Yeldon. Now he'll run. And he is sandwiched at around the 13-yard line.
Yeah.
Autry got a piece of him.
And he's hurting again there. That head's down. And those I saw him take several hits like this in Cleveland. Did a few of their games in 2016. And Kessler is just one of those guys that seems to take a lot of hits like that. And they take a toll.
There's Blake Bortles. Kessler said Bortles has been great this week, helping him along, understanding the plays, giving him some advice on what plays work. Kessler trying to improvise. A hold is going to be called, and Kessler will just throw it away. He may have thrown another penalty, but
I think there should have been.
Yeah.
By the rules, that was a late hit out of bounds.
Jeremy Parnell, by the way, is going to be called for the holding penalty for the Jags, number 78.
Holding. Offense, number 78. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
The oldest player on the Jags roster. And so they're going to decline the penalty. So it'll be 4th down and a field goal attempt.
You see Parnell right here at the bottom of the screen. As Kessler tries to get outside, he's got 2 armfuls. And that's not going to go over very well as the quarterback tries to get outside. But this just shows the futility of this Jaguars offense. There was nobody open. I think Cody Kessler could have stood stronger in that pocket there and maybe tried to wait for someone to come open, but he got flushed.
Here's Lambeau. It'll be a 30-yard field goal attempt. It's good. And the Jags strike first with 2:03 to play here in the first half. Doug Marrone's team is on top, 3-0. Jags have not led in 5 of the last 7 games, so they've spent 247 minutes trailing. They lead at 3-0. Part of that is because the Colts have taken chances today. They had 4th and goal from the 1-yard line or around that they tried for to get a touchdown, and it didn't work. They're 0 for 2 on 4th down opportunities. That ball goes out of the back of the end zone. But let's give credit where credit's due. This Jaguars defense has been really good here this afternoon.
They're playing their guts out. I mean, they are really playing hard. They're making plays. I'm telling you, I'm watching up here. There's only been maybe 1 or 2 plays that I think Andrew Luck could have done something differently. They've been out much more physical up front than this very physical Colts offensive line. That's what they've kind of established themselves as. But there's no doubt who's winning the line of scrimmage today. This Jaguars defense up front is playing hard.
All right, so there's the difference. 29-16 in the first half last time they faced each other. And it's 3-0 Jags. 2 timeouts left for the Colts. Plus the 2-minute warning as Hines is wrapped up from behind by Jackson. And it takes him down. We've reached the 2-minute warning. It's Jacksonville 3, the Colts nothing. We'll be back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Dell and the XPS 13 with Dell Cinema. And by Macy's.
Back here at Jacksonville where it's 3-0. Jags on top of the Colts. And here are the first 4 possessions for the Colts. They certainly have moved the ball. They certainly have dominated time of possession. They've taken a couple of chances today. And on 2nd down and 10, Luck is able to dump it off to Ebron. And Ebron is knocked down by Miles Jack. I thought Calais Campbell was going to nail Andrew Luck in the backfield.
Well, and Calais Campbell's one of those guys, but that was a good job, Andrew Luck, being patient and allowing your playmakers to make play. DJ Hayden was just a little hurdle for Eric Ebron.
3rd down and 3. Luck to T.Y. Hilton, and Hilton is able to win the battle against Jalen Ramsey and get a 1st down, and immediately goes to the line of scrimmage because, as T.Y. told us yesterday, I don't do a whole lot of talking, so Jalen leaves me alone.
That's right. Jalen Rose can't bait him into any kind of a confrontation or dialogue. Good job, Andrew Luck, standing in the pocket under pressure there, too, again.
1:15 and counting to play. Luck is hit by Ngakoue. As he's going down, he's able to get rid of it. And Ebron up to the 43-yard line.
And there you see the strength of Andrew Luck to be able to make that throw and pick up 5 yards with someone drafted, draped around his legs.
2 timeouts left for the Colts.
Plenty of time.
Yep, under a minute to play. Underneath to Ebron. And Ebron trying to fight his way to midfield with Miles Jack.
They're going to burn a timeout here.
Yeah, that play took a little extra time. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this from Allstate.
Thank you.
Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Phil, Nate Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Steve, Colts are still looking for 6 here, right?
Definitely. You still got plenty of time. You can still work the middle of the field with that 1 timeout and then take a few shots at the end zone. You'd like to come away with 6, but you got to make sure you get at least 3.
Hines in the backfield. And Ngakoue moved around the defensive line. Pass to the left side to Ryan Grant is tipped and nearly intercepted. And you don't want a turnover also.
You do not want a turnover at all. And the one thing, too, that is kind of disappointing right now is, and I like the patience Andrew Luck is showing, but they're getting these 3 and 4 yard, 5 yard gains right now. Right there, that would have been another catch and tackle for maybe a 4 or 5 yard gain. I think right now you got to work the middle of the field in that intermediate range, 15 to 20 yards, try and make a few chunks.
Long this year for Vinatieri is 54 yards. His career long back in 2002, 57 yards. Play clock down to 2. Luck gets it off on 2nd down and 10. Plenty of time. Pumps a couple times. He's in trouble, and Ngakoue's chasing him down. What a first half for Ngakoue.
Well, this defense in general, Ngakoue doing a great job finding a way to get some pressure against a team that has not given many sacks up this year, but coverage all the way over the field.
We'll be back in 30 seconds after this from Progressive. That young man right there, Yannick Ngakoue, has been really impressive today. He just picked up the first sack of the half for the Jags. It's 3rd down and 17 for Luck. And Luck underneath, passes complete to Hines, and Hines is crushed by Telvin Smith, and I think Jacksonville may have called a timeout.
Yeah, make him punt it.
Timeout. Jacksonville, their second. 30-second timeout. 22 seconds on the clock, please.
You wonder what the problem is with what downfield. Watch the coverage all the way down the field. You're not going to find a white jersey open down the field. Andrew Luck actually has pretty good protection here, and there's just nobody open. I mean, he can't throw it to anybody. And that's, you got to tip your hat to the Jaguars. They've got the right coverages, and they're playing it very well, and then the pressure's coming.
That was the 2nd down play, and they were moving the ball, getting into Vinatieri's field goal range up into that.
They were, yeah, they had a 1st down at the 50-yard line with 40 seconds left.
Sanchez on the punt.
Coming with the block.
And some shifting going on for the Jags. Keelan Cole is now back to receive this punt. We watched special teams. Yeah, we watched special teams practice the other day, and they were doing a lot of different things, and they nearly got it. It's a good punt by Sanchez, although it's going to go into the end zone. 15 seconds left here in the first half. Well, this weekend, it's the My Cause, My Cleats initiative that the National Football League is putting together. I mean, some of these cleats have been very creative. We saw Tommy Bohannon's cleats for his foundation. Keelan Cole with the Boys and Girls Club, which you just saw there. And discovers how players are making a difference in their communities, and bid on their special edition cleats at NFL.com/CauseMyCleats.
I love it. We had a choice between 3 pairs when I was playing. You had Pony, Reebok, or Nike.
Kessler underneath to Yeldon. And Yeldon spins away from one defender, trying to get out of bounds. And Deshear is able to take him down. 8 seconds left. Well, I guess Kessler is able to take a shot here.
Yeah, I mean, I truly think the play here is to just
be conservative,
run it up the middle, go in at halftime. You got a 3-point lead. If you drop back and throw, and Kessler takes another shot, you know, it's just not worth it. 8 seconds. What are you going to do? You're going to get 50 yards and get a field goal?
So we did see them working on it during practice earlier this week. Keelan Cole was the target, but he was the target downfield, and that will be the final play of the first half. All right, so not a whole lot of offense. Oh, Jacksonville's called a timeout. Excuse me.
30 seconds in length.
Jacksonville has called a timeout. So 3 seconds will be put on the clock.
Thank you.
How about that?
Well, you'll see 2 Colts within, anywhere within 15 yards of the line of scrimmage here. And they'll be rushing the passer, and the other 9 will be, down the field just waiting to make a tackle.
Listen, the Jags have some guys that can get downfield. I mean, D.D. Westbrook is as fast as they come. We watched the other day, Keelan Cole in practice. He was to the back corner of the end zone on these long pass plays from Kessler. So they have these plays. Yeah, but it's just whether he has the time to get them off.
There is only one thing that the Indianapolis Colts are worried about right now, and that is not letting anybody get behind you.
That's right.
That will not happen. They are going to rush 4. They don't want Kessler to have that kind of time, but there will be nobody behind this Colts defense.
With 3 seconds left, they dump it off to O'Shaughnessy. And O'Shaughnessy will get across the first down marker and then eventually out of bounds, and that will be the ends of the first half. Well, as we were saying, not a whole lot of offense in the first half, but the Jags have the lead. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station.
Want more stats? Hey Siri, who leads the league in sacks?
Well, here in Jacksonville, it's the Jags 3 and the Colts nothing as we get set to begin the third quarter. Although it's Steve Berline, I'm Tom McCarthy. We expected a little more offense. The Colts have actually had offense. They just couldn't put it into the end zone.
Well, the Colts, the level that they've been playing at for the last 5 weeks has been off the charts. One of the best offenses in the league. You got to tip your hat to Jacksonville, how well they're playing defensively, and also the Colts vice versa. Neither one of these offenses has done anything to get anybody excited. So it's a defensive struggle right now.
All right, so there's a couple of key plays that the Colts had, and the Jacksonville defense disrupted.
Well, Jacksonville's won every one. Here was a key 4th down from the 2.5-yard line. I think the Colts should have kicked a field goal there, but they went for it and got stopped. And here, another 4th and short, less than a yard, and they're hit in the backfield fumble, and that leads to the Jaguars field goal. That's the difference in the ball game right now. So up front, the Jags are definitely winning that physical battle.
And one thing that the Jags have done is they've been penalized in this first half. 6 penalties for 56 yards.
It hasn't hurt them on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
It hasn't led any scores for Indianapolis, and they're very, very fortunate because they were significant penalties.
All right, I want you to expand on this a little bit. I'm sure as a quarterback, you've had days like this where the first half doesn't start out all that well. Both of these quarterbacks have started very slow in this ball game. So
yes, both of these offenses. Now the role of the quarterback in this situation, and Andrew Luck will do it confidently, I'm sure, and Kessler has got to find a way to get his teammates to rally and believe as well. But it's the quarterback's job to inspire and promote confidence within his offense. Quarterback's got to run around and make sure that everybody gets their mind clear, focus on one play at a time, one drive at a time, and you got to get something on the board early in the second half. That's the emphasis right now.
Yeah, Andrew Luck is averaging 3.35 yards per attempt and 5.8 yards per completion. Here is the comparison we talked about. Andrew actually has 26 attempts. It's just that they haven't gone from a whole lot of yards.
87 yards, 26 attempts. That's unbelievable. Andrew on the year averaging over 7.1 yards per attempt. Today, as you said, not 3 point, whatever, what was it?
3.35 yards per attempt.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So yeah, this is both these offenses need to find a way to get something jump started here.
On first down, Luck looking to throw. He has T.Y. Hilton, who has it knocked away by Jalen Ramsey, who has really not shown any ill effects from that knee injury that slowed him this week.
Yeah, there was uncertainty about Jalen Ramsey playing today all the way through pregame warm-up. Doug Marrone couldn't tell us with confidence on Friday that he was going to play, but you see right there, Jalen Ramsey, one of the most confident corners in the NFL, not afraid of T.Y. Hilton blowing past him.
And by the way, we talked about the Jags defense stepping it up. Todd Wash, their defensive coordinator, who's kind of been on the hot seat too because of the way the team has played, said, I have to do a better job coming into this. I have to do a better job of getting them in position to make plays. Well, they have made plays today. There's no doubt about that. As Marlon Mack is stopped shy of the 31-yard line. All right, so now a third down. The Colts came into this game first in the NFL in third down conversions. And today, 4 of 11 so far on third downs.
And the Jaguars on D, the ninth, tied for ninth, the 37.3% third down. So we thought this would be a good matchup today.
T.Y. Hilton's in the slot to the right. He has 3 of the 4 conversions on third down. Instead, they go to the outside, and Ryan Grant, or excuse me, Naheem Hines with the reception.
I think they may call pushing off offensive PI on this one.
Pass interference, offense, number 11, 10-yard penalty. Remains third down.
It was Ryan Grant on the reception and the penalty.
Watch right at the top of the route, his right arm, he gets in there and just creates that little separation. Once that arm is extended, even though it wasn't significant contact, once that arm gets extended, that referee is going to assume that's what created the separation, and they're going to throw that flag.
So it moves the football all the way back to the 21-yard line. It's third down and 14. Hines in the backfield. Luck, plenty of time, throws underneath to Ebron. And Ebron with a stiff arm trying to get away from Miles Jack, and Jack rips him right into the legs of Doug Marrone. And he's going to be shy of a first down.
Another good defensive series for the Jaguars, not what the Colts were hoping for out of the get-go. You know, nobody's biting on that double move. Boyer right there just playing good discipline. On the other side, just nothing there. Nothing there.
2 return men are back for the Jags. Good punt by Sanchez. Fair catch called for at the 16 by Green. So 3-0 Jacksonville. Kessler back to work for the first time in the second half when we return. T.Y. Hilton and Andrew Luck going over some of the video on the sidelines. Hilton 3 catches, 21 yards. Luck 16 of 28, has not reached 100 yards yet. Jaguars with the football for the first time. Kessler dumps it off to Hyde. Flag comes in. And an excellent one-on-one tackle made behind the line of scrimmage by Matthew Adams. And it's going to be holding against Jacksonville.
Yeah, we all know what that means, and that's just the absolute worst way to start a drive coming out in the second half.
Holding, offense, number 78, half the distance of the goal line, still first.
That's his second penalty. Jeremy Parnell, part of this offensive line that has had one combination after another.
Yeah, right tackle, right there, just wrapping up again.
Oh,
That's
man.
the second time we've seen that wrap. That was on Jabal Sheard. Just, you can't do that. You got to keep the hands within the framework of the body.
First down at 18. Kessler zips it to the right. Keelan Cole, and he's up to the 19-yard line, so he got some yards back. Well, we mentioned it during the outset that the Colts have thrust themselves right into the playoff hunt. Now, Houston's leading Cleveland 23-0 right now, so they're kind of in control of the division, but they face each other next week. But this is what Indianapolis is playing for, still with an opportunity.
Yeah, it's this is here, and really Baltimore is the one that they've got their sights set on. Baltimore right now tied with Atlanta. And that's the team they got to try to run down first.
Play clock at 5, the handoff to Yeldon. They checked down on that play call on second down, and they gained maybe 3. It'll be third down. Grover Stewart, Darius Leonard, the outstanding rookie from South Carolina State, made the tackle for the Colts.
Well, this is the most significant play, I believe, for the Jaguars offense today. 3rd and 5, first drive of the second half. You got a 3-point lead. You gotta inspire your defense a little bit here, make a few first downs, and try to get some points out of this drive.
Yeah, because your defense is playing exceptional football here today. Kessler throws to the near side for Westbrook, and Westbrook has the first down. He was fighting with Quincy Wilson. And for Westbrook, that's his first reception of the day.
Well, really nice job by Kessler here, working the pocket. Look at him step up inside and then deliver under pressure accurately outside to Westbrook. You know, we haven't seen the ball pushed up the field yet like Doug Marrone said he wanted, but right there a completion, and then Westbrook knew what he had to do to get that first down.
That moves the football to the 28-yard line of Jacksonville. Kessler now 10 of 14. The throw again. Throwing long for Westbrook, and Westbrook will try to one-handed grab and can't hang on. Kenny Moore was in on the coverage.
Again, I really like D.D. Westbrook, but right there, you see how many yards he ran backwards? And that shows the defensive back the ball is coming. Before you turn around and start backpedaling there, adjust your body while you're running forward, and then the last minute turn back and make that catch. You're telling the defensive back the ball's coming when you open up like that.
Kind of like the play he made in Buffalo last week that didn't lead to a touchdown for the Jags.
Right, that got him inside the 1-yard line, and they ended up coming away with nothing.
They hand the ball off. It's Hyde up to the 35. Gain of 7. Gathers with the tackle.
That was a really nice run by Carlos Hyde right there behind that left side of the Jaguars offensive line. Physical, and that's what Carlos Hyde brings to it. This is not a rookie. This is the guy that had rushed for almost 500 yards in Cleveland when they made the trade this year, week 7. So he's a football player. He knows how to play.
And wanted more touches. He knew that Fournette was here, but Fournette was injured at the time, but he wanted more touches.
8 carries today, 27 yards, 27 yards.
And that left side of the offensive line is Omame, the left guard, and Flowers, left tackle. Kessler tries to avoid the rush and eventually is ripped down by Nico Autry. But his teammates really helped him on that one.
No doubt. And sometimes you can sense when a quarterback, his eyes drop because he's feeling the pressure. Right here on Cody Kessler, you could see the head drop a little bit. Now there was pressure obviously coming right in his face, so I'm not saying he could have done anything differently, but the quarterback has got to find a way to keep the focus down the field instead of watching that pass rush.
Tyquan Lewis was the first one that was there, the rookie out of Ohio State. Logan Cook has not had a great day punting the ball, but this is a pretty good punt. Chester Rogers will begin. After a 55-yard punt, not much room. Rogers just has to go north and does to the 22. Matt Overton, long snapper, makes the tackle. The Colts defense getting in the mix with a sack here in the third.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm, here to help life go right. Subway, make it what you want. And by the Ram 1500, Motor Trend's 2019 Truck of the Year.
Here in Jacksonville, it's 3-0 Jags. 9:16 to play, third quarter. Neither quarterback has reached 100 yards passing. That's Hines in motion. And the handoff to Mack. And Mack up to the 24. All right, so a lot of underneath passes from Andrew Luck today.
Yeah, and when they've tried to go up the field, they have not had much success. There we saw the drop by T.Y. Hilton. Would have been a great catch. And then across, you're going to see a pattern here. These Jacksonville defensive backs are always in position and breaking on the football, making plays. They're not giving the respect to the Indianapolis Colts receivers at this point. They haven't been able to create any space. I think Andrew Luck's going to have to step up and make a couple great throws here to jumpstart this offense.
Out of the gun on second down. And he's just going to throw this to the near side. It's dropped by Grant. He had it, and I think he felt Ramsey was coming on from behind, and Ramsey is, I think, nicked up on the sidelines. Again, he's battling that knee injury. He thought he was pushed by Grant.
Well, that's a catch that Grant has to make. I don't care whether Jalen Ramsey is coming or not. Ramsey doesn't hit any harder than any other defensive back. When you're getting a ball thrown to you in the NFL, you're going to get hit. You got to make the catch. That was a good job by Andrew Luck to buy the time and put the ball in a place where he can make the catch.
Luck directing some traffic with T.Y. Hilton. Play clock down to 3. Gets it off with 1 on the play clock. Here comes the pressure. Luck throws to the left. Has T.Y. Hilton for a first down. T.Y. kind of streaking past DJ Hayden to make that reception.
I like it. The coach, if you need a playmate, you got to find your number one playmaker, and that's T.Y. Hilton. Even if it is, tight coverage right there. You saw the tight coverage by DJ Hayden, but that's a matchup that Indianapolis likes. If you don't have Jalen Ramsey locked down on T.Y. Hilton, that's a good matchup for you.
Hilton's converted 4 third downs this afternoon, including that one on first down. And a pass complete to Hines out of the backfield. And Hines close to 10 yards. Ronnie Harrison, the talented rookie out of Alabama, and Telvin Smith make the tackle.
All right, so now what Andrew Luck is doing right now in that huddle, he's telling his guys, okay, we got it going now. Let's keep it going. 2 first downs in a row. You get that rhythm going, everybody starts feeling better about things.
They'll run it with Hines. He may have gotten 1 yard. Darius made the tackle. Darius did not play last week because of the bad back. But he's needed today because Avery Jones, who's also a nose tackle, is questionable with a shin injury. They talk about cap space with the Jags. They owe Darius money. They owe Campbell money. Moving up to next year, Malik Jackson money. On second down. Luck has time, this time to the near side for Hilton, and he can't hang on. Broke it up at the last moment. Jalen Ramsey. I'll tell you, he does a lot of talking, Steve, but he does make some plays, doesn't he?
Yeah, he backs it up most of the time. I think that he's one of those guys, though. He's such a special talent, and a big part of his game is that confidence and that cockiness. He does not ever get discouraged, but the way this season has gone, we haven't seen a whole lot of comments publicly lately from Jalen Ramsey, and I think that's a good learning lesson for him as a young corner in this league.
All right, so now it's third down and 9 for the Colts. And the Jags are bringing the pressure. Inman is wide open, and he can't get it. He got turned around, and that was nearly a breakdown that was really going to hurt the Jags.
Yeah, somehow, some way, Luck and Inman have got to connect on this play. He was open behind, and whether you want to put the blame on Andrew Luck for throwing a little bit too far under heavy pressure or just a bad adjustment from Inman, you know, that somehow that ball has got to be completed down the field. Your team needs that play to be made.
Jacksonville uses a timeout.
30 seconds.
All right, you watch film with wide receivers after the game. What would film work tell you about that?
Well, right there, that was a broken play. Inman wasn't even really in the read for Andrew Luck. He was running a clear-out route, but when Andrew broke the pocket to the left, Inman's got to try to find a way to get to space, and he did. But, you know, the ball and the receiver have got to somehow find a way to connect on that. I don't know who you put the blame on. It just didn't happen.
A very odd timeout called by Jacksonville. It must have been a personnel issue. 6:41 to play in the third quarter. Westbrook back deep to receive this punt, calls for the fair catch. Still 3-0 Jacksonville. 6:33 to play. Kessler exchanges the hat for the helmet when we get back. Kind of interesting. Andrew Luck told us yesterday that December games on the road, got to be able to get your running game going. Today it's been more passing than running, and they haven't really been able to convert consistently. And that's why the Jags have the lead. Here's Hyde up 3-0. Jacksonville in the midst of a 7-game losing streak, the longest active streak in the NFL. They've only held a lead in 2 games coming into today. But the last 4 games decided by 6 points or fewer. That's what Doug Marrone said. He said, listen, I don't want to sell anybody anything because we've lost 7 straight, and I know that, and I'm trying to be out front of that. But they've been close games, and he benches Bortles. The offense isn't much different today.
It has not looked much different, and that says a lot about the offense in general, you know.
Kessler with Westbrook in the backfield. Flag comes in. That is a lateral, and what a hit. Oh, man. Matthew Adams has been hitting hard today. And it's holding against the Jags.
Holding, offense number 69. Penalties decline. Third down.
Well, we're going to watch this hit in real time. You want to play in the NFL? You got to be willing to deal with something like this.
It's a good tackle.
Yeah, good tackle. But now, this is a point, and I don't care what you say, Tom. The bottom line is to play quarterback in the NFL, in situations like this, you've got to step up and make a play. I don't care how good the defense is. At some point, you got to make a play.
Because he's been challenged by Frank Reich, the coach of the Colts, because he declined the penalty. As Yeldon is out of bounds, shy of the first down. He declined the penalty and said, you know what, it's 3rd and 10. I don't think you can get the first down.
In an ugly game like this, you know, an ugly game, when it's a beautiful game if you're a defensive person, but most people will consider this an ugly offensive football game. It comes down to making a few key plays at the key points in the game, and it falls on the person who's got the ball in their hands more often than anybody else. It falls on the quarterback. You got to make those plays.
Chester Rogers calls for the fair catch at the 25. 55-yard punt. Not a whole lot of scoring here this afternoon. Can Andrew Luck change that? We'll find out.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Starbucks. Sip a cup of magic. And by Verizon. The best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network.
Number 73 has reported eligible. 73
as part of the Jaguars Salute to Service activities in the Jacksonville community, players and their spouses spent their free time this week putting together care packages for soldiers overseas with St. Michael's Soldiers. 3-0 Jacksonville, 5:07 to play third quarter. On first down, Andrew Luck off the play fake. Has plenty of time. Looking long, far side pass is complete to the far side. Zach Pascal. And he is nailed by A.J. Boye, but there is a flag sitting at the 24. It's going to come back.
Holding, offense, number 67. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Now that hurts. That hurts the Colts. That right there, I was very excited as a quarterback. I knew Luck was going to come out and try and make something happen right here, but not to be all for naught.
Well, what did Doug Marrone tell us? They were going to go after the center, Evan Bain. This is not going after him. He just held. Taven Bryan is who he held. That negates a 40-yard pass play. Play clock down to 3 on first down. Locke under pressure. He's hit as he throws. He does get it off to Hines. A.J. Boye makes the tackle. Well, listen, we talked about the last game. Big first half for the Colts, but then held scoreless in the second half, and now scoreless here today. So, you know, Todd Wash said if not for a few breakdowns, we would have won that ball game, but maybe he's right. Yeah,
he is right, no doubt. The Jaguars seem very comfortable playing Andrew Luck in this Frank Reich offense. It's obviously been a struggle today.
Second down and long. Luck is under pressure, and Calais Campbell's got him and just holds on. 7th sack of the year for Campbell, making his 70th consecutive start.
And you see the class that really separates Calais Campbell from a lot of players in this league. He's been around a long time, but a lot of guys would have taken a chance to get Andrew Luck down on the ground. He just said, okay, I got you. We're just going to stop right here. You know, and he pats him on the back and says, all right.
He was very introspective this week when we met with him. He said, listen, I need to be better. He said, well, our defense needs to be better, but I need to be better. Here's T.Y. Hilton on 3rd and long. And Hilton out of bounds. He got some freedom. Jalen Ramsey will be credited with the tackle with 3:03 and counting to play here in the 3rd quarter. And the Colts will punt again. And for Todd Wash, you know, you saw what happened with Nathaniel Hackett. He was let go. Obviously, there was a lot of thoughts on a lot of coaches' minds here in Jacksonville this week. But his team has really stepped it up today.
They have. And you know, you can. No coach's job is safe in a situation like this when your team is struggling with the expectations as high as they are. But Todd Wash's defense is playing for him. There's no doubt about it.
Here's Green, and Green up to the 30 and down at the 32. Time now for our Super Bowl memory. Super Bowl 27 between the Bills and the Cowboys was a memorable one for a couple of backup quarterbacks. Our own Steve Berline got into the game. So did Frank Reich. Unfortunately, Reich fumbled and Leon led. He thought he had 6.
Yes, he did, and thank goodness it didn't matter.
Oh,
I got the ring right here, baby.
What was it like to be in a game like that?
I was a holder. That was more significant throughout the course of the game than getting in to mop up at the end, but it was a fantastic experience.
Yeldon out of the backfield up to the 36-yard line. How about your running back fumbling that clean handoff by you? Your running back fumbling that clean handoff.
It was not my fault, obviously. No, quarterback always takes the blame. Watch right here, though. This is where Cody Kessler, in my opinion, needs to start taking a little bit more charge. He takes a nice, safe pass in the flat, but watch coming across the middle field. That's an open receiver in the middle of the field to pick up a chunk yardage. Those are throws that you got to be able to see and make at certain points.
Instead, he goes to Yeldon for the 6th time. He has 12 completions, 6 to Yeldon. And Hyde runs up the middle. Darius Leonard makes the tackle after a gain of 2. So it'll be 3rd down. Hyde today, 10 carries, 29 yards. The two teams are not lighting it up offensively. Jags. Was that an understatement?
You said that with a straight face. I was looking at you. I cannot believe you actually said that with a straight face. Total yards, not even 300 yards between the two teams.
But there's still 16 minutes and 20 seconds and counting left to play in this game. On 3rd down. Kessler dumps it off. He is able to get Westbrook. And Westbrook inside Colts territory. Well, he certainly took the hit on that one, didn't he?
He did. He took it right in the chops, and I give him respect for that. That was Jabal Sheard bearing down on Cody Kessler, and he found a way to get this ball out of there on time. Look at this hit, though. Bam! That, I'm telling you, that leaves a mark, and he's going to feel that in the morning. Nice job standing there tough, and Westbrook doing the rest.
Gain of 23 yards for Westbrook. And a first down to the 38. Jaguars have not lived inside Colts territory that often today. Kessler, quick toss to Westbrook. That really never evolved. Javal Sheard was there to make the tackle. He read that. And that'll wind down this third quarter. That should be the final play of the third. Well, you're not going to see this kind of score that often in the National Football League in this day and age. But we end the third quarter with the Jags up 3-0 over the Colts. The fourth quarter is upon us. Steve, you quarterbacks have a responsibility, more responsibility than a lot of other folks, and Andrew Luck's showing that responsibility right here.
I love it. He's just telling everybody, hey, we got to put together one drive. That's all it's going to take to win this ball game. Everybody focus. One drive and we'll win this ball game. I love it.
Jaguars facing a second down and 14 as we begin the fourth quarter. Hyde underneath. Gathers, makes the tackle. Well, you know, the Colts have been really good in the fourth quarter. That's part of what is so good about Andrew Luck and Marlon Mack, and they're going to need to be good in the fourth quarter here.
And trust me, Frank Reich preaches about that in his meetings to this team. He's saying, you know, the team that plays best in the fourth quarter wins most of these football games in the NFL. Look at the difference, what they've done so far the last 5 games. Those numbers are all really impressive, and they can draw confidence from that.
Well, now it's a third down and 13 for the Jags. They have Yeldon underneath. Can he get the first down? He does get the first down. You know, TJ Yeldon out of the backfield, when they've drafted him, they thought he could be a premier back. He's turned into a very nice NFL back.
He is. He's shown he belongs, and he's got a role in most situations. You'd want him to be kind of your third down guy and your second back, and that's what his role is here with the Jaguars. But unfortunately, Fournette has been off the field more than he's been on the field this year.
And Fournette serving his 1-game suspension. So Yeldon and Hyde getting most of the action today. Here's Hyde. Slips a tackle or two before Muhammad takes it down. Gets inside the 25-yard line. Hyde now 11 carries, 31 yards. And now second down. It's Hyde again. And Hyde has what looks to be about 5 yards, 6 yards, and he's right at that first down marker.
Yeah, they found something the last couple runs here going off the right side with Carlos Hyde. That was a nice job. It was just a little, you could see the back action cutting back on the backside. It was kind of a little trap. And very nice job by Hyde to run through the one-arm tackle and pick up a nice gain and give themselves a third and about a foot here.
Yep. It's the length of a football, basically. By the way, Omame is moved over to the right tackle position from the right guard position. And Hyde is hit behind the line of scrimmage. Javal Sheard. He wasn't the first one, but he was the last one there to clean him up and take him down.
And that hurts. You called out the change in formation. Omame moved to the right side, and they wanted to run behind him, but boy, the Colts sniffed that out and hit Hyde in the backfield for a 4-yard loss.
Well, now a 37-yard field goal attempt for Josh Lambo. He had made 28 straight inside 50 before last week's game against the Bills. He's made 1 field goal today. It's a good snap, good hole. Kick is on its way, and it is good. 11:42 to play in the fourth quarter. Doug Marrone's Jags are up 6-0 over Andrew Luck and the Colts. Tom Coughlin, the Executive Vice President of Football Operations for the Jags, taking a lot of notes, Steve Berline, during the course of this game.
Yeah, he's a pretty detailed guy. I know from experience, and you know, he's going to be 100% committed to figuring this thing out. They've been all extremely shocked by how this year has turned out, and the expectations are very high.
Yeah, and he talked even this week about, you know, accepting responsibility for everything that's gone on too. Saturday at 3 Eastern. It's a game of honor, the 119th Army-Navy game. Army is riding a 7-game winning streak and looks for its 3rd straight win over Navy. Coverage of this great tradition begins with college football today at 2:30 Eastern. I've had the pleasure of calling one Army-Navy game, and it was fantastic. I called it in Philadelphia. I called Navy games for a long time, and it's a pretty incredible experience.
I've heard it's absolutely spectacular. I've never had the opportunity, but boy, I'd love to be a part of it at some point.
Pass to Hines on 1st down, and Hines makes a few men miss and gets above the 35 to the 36-yard line.
And there you saw some of what we were talking about very early in the game. This Colts offensive line, we haven't had a chance to talk much about it. You see the point differential today, but this Colts offensive line, that play, they were flying down the field looking for people to pick off.
A high snap handled by Luck. Finds Hines again on the near side, and he is stood up by A.J. Boye. It's a short gain of 2 yards. You mentioned that line. Zach Kiefer in the Indy Star had a really cool story this week where he talked to Dave DeGuglielmo, yes, the offensive line coach.
Let's call him Gooch.
And it was really a neat story talking about all the personalities that are on this offensive line. Now, they are playing today without Ryan Kelly, their center. He's their stabilizing force. Luck finds Inman, and Inman up to the 43 before he's hit back by Boye and Harrison.
This Jaguars defense is just making the Colts earn every single yard. They're being very disciplined. Todd Wash has got these guys playing today. They've made their disciplined reads, and they're understanding their responsibilities, and then they're finishing it off, coming up and making great open field tackles.
And are you still comfortable with all these short passes?
I'm not. Andrew Luck isn't either. He wants to push the ball up the field, but he's not seeing anything there. He still has to make a play, though, at some point.
Yeah, 3rd down and a little less than 3. Steps up in the pocket. Ball is swatted away. Calais Campbell. It'll be 4th down, and the Colts will bring the punt team on.
Well, Calais Campbell is not a little man. He's 6 foot, and look at that. It's 6'8", 300-plus pounds, and he realized he couldn't get to Luck. The next best thing is to get up in his vision, and his instinct was absolutely right on cue there and made a great play.
D.D. Westbrook back deep to receive for the Jags. Ball go over Westbrook's head and bounce into the end zone. 6-0 Jacksonville, 9:54 to play. Kessler back on the field when we return with the lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. The Mule, starring Clint Eastwood, in theaters December 14th. And by Ford. Built Ford proud.
Got to tell you, they got everything at stadiums nowadays. That's Pet Paradise, which is part of the stadium here in Jacksonville. There are a lot of dogs that some of the players and the families brought to the game today. Coming up on the State Farm postgame show, join JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the State Farm postgame show.
Yeah, you know about that pet place there. We asked what the heck the concept was for. They said, well, the players need somewhere to bring their dogs.
Yeah, it's like, and the fans too.
The dogs get to go to the football games now.
So great.
Down.
On 2nd down, here's Yeldon. And Yeldon has not a lot of room. Darius Leonard, Anthony Walker. They were all part of the mix there.
Yeah, and we haven't talked much about Darius Leonard, but this kid, though, man, is he a special player. We got to meet with him yesterday as well, and just his perspective on things and maturity from this kid who's a rookie in the NFL, leading the NFL in tackles coming into today. Just an incredible find by Chris Ballard in this Colts organization.
Undersized when he went to college. He wound up going to South Carolina State. Autry nearly got Kessler. Kessler is able to avoid it. He's got a 1st down. What a run by Cody Kessler.
And that's how you win over your teammates, too, right there. Just finding a way to get it done. It's a great job by Kessler. There was some pressure immediately from Autry. There was A.J. Cann got whipped right off the line of scrimmage, and Kessler just reverted back to just being a playmaker and did whatever he had to do to get that first down. That's hats off on that play.
That's the longest run of the day for the Jags. Again, they're without Leonard Fournette today, suspended after the fight last week against the Bills. A first down. Kessler looks left, rolls right.
Nothing there.
He's going to throw it away.
Come on, Cody.
Yeah.
Come on, Cody.
Nothing there. Don't make a bad play worse trying to make something happen. You know, there's a little bit of a different mentality. Kessler, I think, still going to have to make some plays down the stretch here, but when you're protecting a 6-0 lead, that's different than having to score like the Colts do. The Colts have got to find a way. Andrew Luck, T.Y. Hilton have got to make some plays down the stretch for this Colts team.
Yeah, it's just 7:54 to play here in the fourth quarter. Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton have been sitting next to each other for most of the day, as you would expect. Second down, Kessler near side, passes complete to the near side. Green, a flag comes in. It may have been a push-off by Green.
They're calling it. It's the second time today we've seen an offensive pass interference.
Pass interference, offense number 13, 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
You hear the wind whipping when Alex Kemp makes that call.
Yep, that both hands extended there. That's one of the things that receivers, coaches, and when you're dealing with so many young receivers, and Green in his fourth year, he's got no real excuse for it, but there are things you can get away with in college that you cannot get away with in the NFL. A lot of them have to do with the contact on the outside with the wide receivers and DBs.
Steve, 8 penalties, 74 yards for the Jags. 6 penalties for the Colts. Kessler off the play fake. Throws complete. Just inside the 40-yard line, shy of the first down to Dante Moncrief.
That was a good job pushing this right up to the top. A little bit too much cushion from Quincy Wilson, but the ball was put where it needed to be by Kessler, low and outside on time. That was a nice throw to get him in a very manageable third down situation now.
By the way, the Colts are going to be without Mike Mitchell. Mitchell is out with a calf injury, one of the strong safeties. And now a third down and a little less than 4. Kessler is hit. He fumbled it. It's loose. And he's able to pull it back in. That was really close.
Oh, great effort by Kessler to get that ball back in and protect it.
Danico Autry, he's having himself a day off the defensive line of the Colts.
Well, I can tell you, Tom, that this is not a good feeling when you've got a 300-pound man laying on top of you reaching for the football with you. It's like you're protecting your baby. You know, you got to get control of that thing and not let anything bad happen.
So the Colts will get the football back with around 6 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Logan Cook just got that ball off Chester Rogers. He'll return this one. And Rogers up to the 28-yard line. Revis in on the tackle. Andrew Luck's team is down by 6 when we return. Well, we are in the neighborhood of the lowest scoring game in 2018. It's 6-0 Jags. A couple other streaks too. Andrew Luck, 8 consecutive games with 3 touchdowns or more. He does not have anything obviously today. 23 of 39, 148 yards. Underneath to Ebron, I should say. And Ebron out of bounds close to the 33. Deshaun Gibson makes the tackle. All right, so this is what Andrew Luck is kind of built for, these game-ending drives, right?
Well, the great ones have the ability to step up at the end of a ball game. Does not matter what happened before, to make the plays it takes to win a ball game. Another former Stanford quarterback you might have heard of, John Elway. I can't tell you how many times I saw him in these same situations. He may have had a terrible game, but he found a way at the end to make the plays necessary to break your heart and win the game.
Empty backfield for Luck. They haven't run the ball since the 7:29 mark in the third quarter. It's been all passing plays.
Yeah, this is a Colts team that coming in this 5-game winning streak, averaging 148 yards a game. We got an offensive lineman down back there in the backfield.
That's Evan Bain, the center, who is injured. Now, don't forget, Ryan Kelly is out Kelly's out with a knee injury. So Boehm has been the
Please reset
backup.
the game clock to 5:11.
Obviously, Haig has played today, and Haig will probably get a chance to play more. He won't be the center, but he'll play more.
Well, and you see Andrew Luck over there now taking snaps from Josh Andrews, who's going to come in at center. And Andrew Luck
Play
told
clock
us about the adjustment.
29, please.
The adjustment he's had to make the last couple of weeks with Ryan Kelly not being in there.
He said it takes a few snaps to get used to a new center.
It takes more than that. He was saying it takes a few snaps before you get the feel of his snap, because every snap is different. But there are also different things that just little subtle innuendo, not innuendo, that's the wrong word, but subtle little differences that you do notice every time you get up under there and you do make a snap or take a snap. It affects things. So it's something that you think about that normally you don't have to. You got to make sure of ball security here first and foremost. So,
well, Boehm is walking on the sidelines, and it doesn't look like he's walking with a limp, so maybe it's a cramp. So he's going to go toward the 10 on first down from the 40.
I would expect more shotgun with the new center in there right now.
Plenty of time in the play clock. Luck looking to throw middle of the field, and it was nearly intercepted. Was it, though? T.Y. Hilton and Jalen Ramsey both with a football who was popped out. And they're going to say the reception was made by T.Y., I believe, at the 44-yard line.
T.Y. is still down. We all know that
the ruling on the field is the reception was made and the runner was down by contact.
The tie goes to the offensive player.
We saw that last week in
Shared
Buffalo.
possession, yes. So this is going to be a catch. It should have been, could have been an interception, like you said,
because the ball popped up.
But we hope T.Y. Hilton is not hurt significantly here, too. Hopefully, with his legs up, you're thinking maybe just the wind, but hopefully not a major issue. Let's see if their D was a catch. That's Telvin Smith.
Oh, he tipped it.
Tipped it.
What concentration by T.Y. Hilton.
That's shared possession
with Jalen Ramsey.
And that's going to go to T.Y. Hilton all the way.
I think one thing that Hilton did too, Steve, and you know this better than anybody, he cupped it. He cupped the ball. He cupped his arm under the ball.
Yep, and he's grabbing his right shoulder. That was an injury earlier in the season that kept him out of a couple of games. He might have re-aggravated that shoulder injury. But you're right, he definitely cupped that ball. And as long as it's clear or not clear that the defensive player did not have possession, this ball is going to go to the offense every time.
I think you're right on that, and I think it's clear too.
Yeah, I think it's very clear.
That's the longest play of the day for the Colts.
Reset the clock to 4:47. 4:47.
But now, how do you replace your best playmaker as well? You need him down the stretch. Andrew Luck is going to find a way to get the ball. He has to find a way to get the ball to give someone else another chance to make a play.
4:45 and counting to play, fourth quarter, 6-0 Jags. Mack is out, Hines is in. He's picked up by Telvin Smith on the outside. Pressure's coming, Luck throws left, incomplete, intended for Inman. It was broken up by DJ Hayden.
Doesn't it look today, though, Tom, like every single pass is being challenged by these defensive backs? And you know, you really have to tip your hat to the defense. There have been no really easy throws up the field at all for Andrew Luck today.
Todd Walsh's team has also picked up 2 sacks. Luck had been sacked only once in the last 6 games.
T.Y. Hilton back out.
Back in, yep. On second down. Luck to the outside. Pass is complete to Pascal. He's got a first down and more inside the 30-yard line. DJ Hayden made the tackle. I think he was surprised that there was nobody on him when he caught that football.
Well, they've been catching the ball and getting hit so often today. You look around, you're expecting something, but a nice job of just turning, getting north and south, and easily picking up that first down. And now you like the Colts in control of the outcome of this ball game. 4 minutes left. First and 10 inside the 30-yard line.
6 play. First run on this drive. Hines trying to break outside. Gets to the 25-yard line. Ronnie Harrison makes the tackle. Coming up on the State Farm postgame show, join JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the State Farm postgame show.
So now the Jaguars, once we get inside of 3 minutes, we'll see them how they want to use their timeouts and how much time they want to preserve on the clock if they do need to score again.
Luck to throw again, and he overthrows Ebron. He's fortunate that ball wasn't intercepted.
Yeah, that was dangerous.
Deshaun Gibson was on the backside with Jalen Ramsey.
You know, you got a significant height advantage with Ebron. He's 6'4", 255. Going up with any of those corners, so I think Andrew Luck probably put it up there saying, I'm going to give him a chance to make a play or nobody. Huge third down. It's a 4-down territory. Obviously, the field goal doesn't help you here.
Luck has 20 game-winning drives under his belt during his career. Here comes the pressure from the Jaguars. Luck gets rid of it. Ebron has it, and Ebron is close to the first down.
Oh, yeah.
Miles Jack.
They're marking it a yard short.
All right, they've had 2 4th-down opportunities today that they haven't converted. This was one that they're going to have to convert.
Yeah, I mean, you're at the point now where you cannot play to get the ball back. You've got to get this first down. You got to find a way to go to your best 4th-down play right here. We're going to see what Frank Reich has got up his sleeve, but this is a huge play. I think they should use a timeout here to get everybody on the same page. You've got plenty of time, no reason to rush up there.
And he does use a timeout, so he's got 2 left.
Indianapolis, they're first.
All right, so let's think about this. I mean, Marlon Mack, 8 carries, 27 yards today. I mean, you're only 4th and 1. They've had 2 4th downs that they didn't get today.
And they don't have a power back.
No.
They don't. None of their backs are power backs. And you give credit to the Yannick Ngakoue right there. Great play shutting down the shovel pass, closing the gap. And this big 4th down, Miles Jack coming up in there and making that hit, causing the fumble and recovering it. Tremendous job in both of those situations earlier. Nothing today has come easy for the Colts. So now this is a tough play call right here. If I'm Frank Reich, I'm thinking about maybe a hard run play action and try to create a back in the flat. Jordan Wilkins is in there at running back.
Ryan Hewitt, who's a tight end, is the fullback.
I'm thinking they might try to sneak Hewitt out into the flat and get him the football.
Play clock down to 2. Luck looking to throw. He's hit as he's taken down. Flags come in. Ronnie Harrison sacked him. And we'll see who the penalty is against. Jacksonville's hoping that they'll take over the football.
Holding offense, number 64. A penalty decline. The ball will go over on downs to Jacksonville.
3rd sack of the day for the Jags.
That was exactly the play that I was predicting. They were trying to slip Hewitt out into the flat, but the backside protection is supposed to be solid. This should all be blocked off and walled off on the backside. But the Colts did a terrible job. They double teamed down on Calais Campbell. That is a terrible bust by Anthony Costanzo. That is inexcusable. That is the only thing that he should be worried about. And Tom Coughlin absolutely loves it.
He's saying there's a hold.
But that should not have ever happened. That is the safest play action pass they could have run. It was the right call by Frank Reich. Terrible execution by Costanzo.
All right, so now 2 timeouts left for each team. I mean, the Colts can get it back with 2:25 or 2:27 left to play, plus the 2-minute warning.
Indianapolis.
So they'll take a timeout here.
30 seconds in length.
CBS's Super Bowl season continues as the playoff pressure builds. Next Sunday, Baltimore battles Kansas City. Indy takes on Houston, where the Chargers host the Bengals. Check your local listings for a complete playoff picture. The NFL Today has you covered beginning at 12 Eastern. Look at those smiles. Colts are down to 1 timeout. Jacksonville, they just want to get 1 first down.
Yeah, they got the 2-minute warning and a timeout. There's still going to be time on the clock if they can make a stop here.
Yeldon with Sheard coming up to make the stop, and another timeout for the Colts. And Leonard's there. So what's on the line? So for the Colts, they're back in the playoff picture, but the Colts are leading their ball game. Actually, the Ravens are leading their ball game. Miami's also leading over Buffalo. Ravens have RG3 in at quarterback, and Denver is beating Cincinnati. So it might tighten up even more.
Yeah, this is a game that boy, Andrew Luck knows it too. The Colts really felt like they need to win this ball game to keep pace.
They've won 5 straight.
They're already behind in the tiebreaker on Baltimore, and you fall another game back. That's hard to overcome.
Yeah, conference winning percentage is why the Ravens have the edge. Kessler off the play fake. He has time, trying to set something up. He's in trouble. He's trying to run for the first down, and he won't get it. The Colts will get it back. Walker makes the tackle. Matthew Adams was there too.
He'll be right at the 2-minute warning when the ball's punted to him.
All right, so obviously the Jags needed to take more time off the clock there.
Yeah, they needed to get a first down, but that's
what's happened all day.
You work on this stuff in practice both ways. The defense for the Colts stood up right there.
Colts will get it back when we return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Kay Jewelers. For all the moments, for love, forever. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Last time the Jags had a shutout against anybody was the Colts last year, October 22nd, 27-0. Andrew Luck obviously was hurt at that point.
Who was covering that game? CBS. Was that us?
I think it was Tasker. I don't think it was us. It was Chester Rogers calling for the fair catch. All right, so Andrew Luck has never been shut out in a National Football League game. His streak of 8 straight of 3 touchdowns or more obviously is going to come to an end, but he only needs 1 in order for the Colts to win the game.
And I guarantee you that's all he cares about. That's all he's thinking about. But boy, this is if he can find a way to pull this one out, this will be going into part of his lore down the road.
No timeouts left for the Colts. 1:53 to play. Hines in the backfield. He's more of a receiving back. 40 receptions coming into today's ball game. Luck in trouble. Gets away from Ngakoue. Pumps. Now he'll run. Luck slides forward at the 26-yard line. So a first down, but the clock continues to run.
Yep, but that's okay. That's a nice 10, 11-yard pickup. You got to have some urgency, though.
By the way, Evan Bain is back in at center. He was out on the last drive. On first down, pressure's coming again. Luck pumps once, throws, passes complete to T.Y. Hilton, and he's got 11 yards.
Get up on the ball.
Yeah, they're not hustling up as quickly as I would think they should. They still have plenty of time.
They do. And they don't need to clock it yet. You don't want to waste a play at this point.
To the far side, Ebron out of bounds at the 43-yard line.
So this is that argument that fans get frustrated with. Why in the last 2 minutes of the game is it so easy to go to that prevent kind of mentality? But now that they're on the other side of the 50, as they approach, get inside the 40, 35-yard line, you'll see Todd Watts get back into his aggressive mentality. You do not want to let them get down in the red zone at this point.
Gain of 20 yards to the 43. Ryan Grant to the outside, 3 receivers near side. Ebron is closest to line of scrimmage. T.Y. covered by Boye on the near side. And T.Y. Hilton is covered up by Boye as the clock will continue to wind under minutes of play.
Boy, he had a nice shot at Eric Ebron again on that play, running across the field with Miles Jack trailing him. I would have liked to see him take a shot at that one up the field a little bit.
37 seconds and counting to play. No timeouts for the Colts. Ebron trying to get out of bounds. He cannot. Jack with the tackle at the 30-yard line.
You got to clock it here. I think get up and clock the ball. You got inside of 20 seconds now.
What a one-on-one tackle by Jack. 17-16. A lot of time off the clock. Luck to the right side. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Ebron. 9 seconds left. That was too much time.
If it's me, I'm telling you, even though it was second down, an incomplete pass, you just threw an incomplete pass that cost you about 15 seconds. I would have clocked that thing because it gives you've got to get the first down on the next play anyway, or the game's going to be over because the clock's going to keep going. You got to find a way to preserve the time. I think that was a mistake to let that much time run off.
How many plays they have left now? 9 seconds.
2 plays.
But they got to get out of bounds seconds after the first one. Play clock down to 3. Luck to the outside. Pass is complete to Swope, and he is not out of bounds. The clock will continue to run. 2 seconds, 1 second, that's it. What a day for the Jags defense. What a tackle by Jalen Ramsey to keep him in bounds.
It's hindsight now, but I'm thinking in that situation you take 2 shots at the end zone. That's the only way you know you're going to get 2 plays at the end zone. Now I mean, you got to run back and see whether he did get that body out of bounds. There might be 1 more play left.
Well, the teams.
He's out of bounds. He's out of bounds.
The teams are meeting at midfield. Jeff Bergman was the line judge.
That to me looked like he landed out of bounds, but.
Well, by the way, what a hit by Jalen Ramsey. I mean, Jalen Ramsey made that tackle and made sure that there wasn't going to be another play for the Indianapolis Colts.
I guess it could be forward progress, maybe. Could they be ruling that? I don't know, but to me it looks clear that nothing hit the ground inbounds. They're going to call it forward progress maybe right there. But he lands out of bounds, clearly.
5 seconds are left on the clock at that point when he lands out of bounds.
It seems like you'd have some kind of an explanation from the referees in this situation, though. But regardless of all that, I really believe the Colts should have taken 2 shots at the end zone, because if you get 5 yards there, you still got 1 shot from 5 yards closer. That, to me, was the wrong way to handle that. You need to take 2 shots at the end zone. You want to have as many opportunities as you can to get into the end zone.
By the way, though, what a day by this Jags defense. Let's bring in Gene Steratore, who's back in New York. Gene, I know this is a play that you've probably had before when you were officiating. Take us through it and what happened and what the call was.
The covering official on this play is ruling that the player's forward progress was stopped in the field of play and driven backward while he was still in bounds prior to going out of bounds. That's a judgment called by the covering official, and it is not a reviewable play. Forward progress cannot be stopped and reviewed. It appears by the mechanics, if we watch the official come into the screen, he will start to wind his arms, signifying that he believes that that runner was driven backward and out of bounds, meaning his progress was stopped in the field of play and the game clock continued to run. That's the signal you're getting from the line judge there. It is not a reviewable play.
So let me ask you this, Gene. That's what I kind of figured, that they had ruled
you
forward
did say
progress
that, Steve.
stopped.
You said that.
But do you agree with that call in that situation?
The philosophy is that you want to make sure that it really jumps out at you, especially inside the last 2 minutes of the game or when the clock is of a serious nature, which this naturally is. If you sit and pinpoint this step by step, does it look like he gets driven back a little? There's a little room for that, but in my opinion, I think this is just a good hit out of bounds and a stoppage of the game clock.
I agree with you.
Gene, thanks, buddy. We appreciate that. Excellent description. Good job by you, Steve Berline, explaining what the possibilities were, too. Jeff Bergman was the official who made the demonstrative call. I mean, he was definitive with it. So now the playoff picture looks like this. The Colts 6-6. Baltimore leading its ball game 6-5 right now. And again, Houston 8-3 leading the division where the Colts are. 6-0. The Jaguars and their defense step up. For Steve Berline and our excellent crew here in Jacksonville, I'm Tom McCarthy. We also like to thank the Blue Man for showing up here today. Great job by the Jags defense. So long from Jacksonville, Florida.
All right.